everybody? Tuesday morning here, a little different backdrop, getting to record my first video in my home office. Uh, Today I want to talk about relationships and building positive relationships with those around you and how meaningful they can be and how they can just go with you throughout the rest of your life. And when I talk about building relationships, I'm talking about how do people feel about you? How do you make people feel? Because as a teacher, I can tell you that I'm not focused on the content or how much work a student can get done or how much they're going to know about my content area when they leave my classroom. I focus more on that relationship with that student. How comfortable are they with me? Are they willing to run through a wall for me and understand that I'll run through a wall for them? That's building positive, meaningful, lasting relationships that will go with you for the rest of your life. I can remember being a student and I tell some of my former teachers now, I don't remember what you taught me. I can't remember what happened on the third day of first semester or second semester or what you taught me. I remember the topic. I remember the subject, science, math, English, but really don't remember that. I remember how you made me feel. Did you care about me, the student, or did you care about me, the person? And that started with me early. I can remember as far back as my third grade teacher who really, really invested in me as a person. The first teacher I had to talk to me about sports. The first teacher I had to give me a nickname, called me Little Tiger Woods back in the day. That right there meant so much to me as a student, and it really helped guide me and put me on a better track. Uh, so, as a teacher, as a teacher, are you stressing out about the content you're delivering? Or are you stressing out about what's going on with that student right now as we're doing this virtual learning? Are you stressing out more about their situation at home or thinking about what we could do to build a better relationship? Or is it just you stressing about getting their grades put in on time or how they're doing? Because right now, my biggest stress is I don't get to see my kids every day and I can't force them to get into Zoom meetings, but I really want to see them. I want to talk to them about their life. What's going on? How are you doing? And I have that type of relationship with a lot of my upperclassmen, but teaching freshmen is difficult. They're coming from a middle school. So how am I getting that across? We can't force them to get into our class Zooms. So how are we building positive relationships right now virtually? That's something that I'm still trying to figure out myself. It's very difficult, but those relationships are very, very important. Building relationships as a teacher should be our number one. As an administrator or as a student, same thing. Building relationships, getting those meaningful relationships. A student that if you're struggling and you've worked to build a relationship with your teacher and you've been in steady contact with your teacher and they understand what you're going through, that teacher's probably going to help you out a little bit. But if you're not being in contact with your teacher, if you're not making the effort to show them that you care, it's hard for a teacher to really want to help you if you're not helping yourself. As an administrator, do you know what your faculty and staff's going through right now? Do you really know each and every one of them and what they're going through, what they're dealing with outside of here? Because it's enough that we're having to do virtual learning and get through this with our students. But do you really know the other stuff that is going on? For instance, today I thought about this relationship topic after talking to my wife last night. I get to be a pallbearer today at a funeral, and it's kind of a sad, but I felt it was a little. I felt honored to be asked. Her great aunt and we really had a unique relationship. Every time I seen her, we cut up, we joked, we picked on each other, we hugged each other, and it was a great feeling every time we were around each other. I've known her for about 13, 14 years, and she really made an impact on me and how she cared about everybody, how loving she was. And I hope I made her feel the same in her time that we knew each other. And I was asked to do this, and I've only been asked to be a pallbearer one other time, and that's when I was 16 years old. I worked with a lady at KFC in Collinsville, and I had been away from KFC for about a year, and I get a phone call that one of my buddies, she had passed away, and I was asked to be a pallbearer. And At that time I really didn't understand it, but now when I look back, I was like, we built a friendship together. We laughed. We made work fun for each other because we just picked on each other, and we had great talks. We talked about things she had been through in her life. She had been at KFC since those doors opened, and we had great conversations. Do you take the time to have great conversations with those closest to you? Get to know those individuals. As I strive to be the best coach I can be, the best teacher I can be, and maybe one day the best administrator I can be, I can't help but to think that relationships will be number one for me. And I've had to learn a lot the last 11 years in education. I've made some mistakes, but relationships will always be at the forefront of how I am, and what's my philosophy is going to be surrounding education. Because if a student knows you care for them, they're going to care enough to run through a wall for you. Students, if a teacher knows you care, they're going to care enough to run through a wall for you. Administrators, if your faculty knows you care, they're going to care enough about you to run through a wall for you. So today, let's focus on building positive relationships. And there may be some that is not positive right now. Let's focus on working on those and building that positivity throughout each and every relationship you have. This is Coach Johnson signing out. Tuesday morning. Build positive relationships. Peace.